Hey guys, it is Chris here, and we are going to have some fun this week. You guys all know that I love when we can pick a theme for the week. Well, um, this week I decided that we are going to. Sorry, just a second. I, for some reason, shared that onto my personal page, which I was not planning on doing. We are going to have a theme of return to the happiest place. So, like I said, I love to work with a theme. I'm all about a theme, having fun with something. So, on June 1st, close to my heart, um, brought back, returned the Happiest Place um, product collection with a savings. Okay, I think I got everything out of the way now. Hey Jenny, I thought that it would be fun. I showed my workshops yesterday. So those are the original workshops that I created when Happiest Place first came out. So there's a full scrapbooking one, and there's a flip-flop workshop, which is super fun. So I thought we were just going to carry that theme through the whole week. So today we're going to make the card that we created last week for the first time. People wanted me to go a little bit slower and show a little bit more of the paper piecing. So I haven't stamped any of that stuff yet. So we're going to make the card start to finish, but with the Happiest Place collection. So I'm going to make you big on my desk. There we go. So these are the cards I created last week. So it's a fun Z fold card, and I used the You Are Enough paper for this one, the Operation Smile stamp set. I did some coloring, and this stamp is called On Your Birthday, and it's one of my favorite stamp sets that we have for birthday cards. So because I really like the fact that it has the inside sentiment. So I made that one, and then I made a different version. Again, this is the You Are Enough paper. There we go. So then I made it with Party Time, because that's more actually like birthday themed paper. So I made it, I don't know if you could see, but the sparkly on the cupcake is super cute. So I used this stamp and thin cuts Dessert à la Whirl. So we're going to use some stuff. We're going to use this stamp set again for the paper piercing part, but we are going to use Happiest Place paper and something fun. So Happiest Place had SVGs. It didn't have a small Cricut collection like, for example, Hillside Cottage has right now, or Stars and Sparklers has right now. So it just had SVGs. I think it had something to do with timing, if I remember correctly. So I have not actually tried this, but I thought instead of like here where we use these dessert pieces or the flowers, I'm going to try and put the balloons up around the top. So you see how these all have bottom decorations. We are going to my thought is to put the balloons like this in more of a birthday theme. So here is how we create this card. So I'm going to adapt it slightly for the first one, because like I said, I want my balloons up at the top. So you'll see the difference here. I have a card base. So this is just an A2 size card base, and I've cut a piece of the Happiest Place paper. So this is just 4 by 5 1/4. So just because I want that nice little white border around. And so I have, you can see it's just on the card base. Okay, and I've just, so this is the largest circle in our new circle thin cuts. So I've taped the piece of paper onto the card base and I've just tacked down my circle where I want it. That's about where I think will be good to have the balloons on the top. Might actually move it over just a little bit. It just doesn't look quite centered. So I actually probably should take some more tack off this washi tape too. But here we go. I think we'll try right here. Okay, so I'm just going to tack this down with my washi tape and I'm just going to crank it through my die cutting machine. But I wanted to actually show you that I'm moving the circle just because I'm changing the elements that I want to put on the card. So you can totally adapt this. Sorry, I'm not going to put this on the desk because it makes the desk shake like crazy for the camera. And autofocus is more than enough. You probably don't need more movement than that. Okay, so there we go. It easily cuts through both layers with the thin cut. So I'm being gentle here. The white piece is over there still. So, because you would end up with your white piece from your card base. So you could cut that into your small, so I'm just going to cut the next size down circle to stamp my sentiment on. You could cut that from your 3-inch circle that pops out of your card base and just run it quickly through your die cutting machine. I just cut a bunch of circles beforehand. Okay. Now you can either use this as your accent circle border, or you can cut something else. So I did happen to cut a piece of the coordinating cardstock. So this product suite has cardstock. It's the same idea kind of as the URNF, but these have silver foil on them. Okay, so I just need to move these up a little bit. This is what we are looking like so far. And like I said, I haven't actually tried this to see if we're going to get it to work, but I think it should. And I think it will be kind of cute. So we're going to, just so you can kind of visualize what's happening, that is kind of the concept as what we're going to do. Okay, so right now I could take this washi tape off gently without ripping my paper, and I can score my card base now and add my paper to the front. It's so fun, and they're perfect for a birthday, right? So, and you don't need a ton of paper to create the cards. So, like I said, because we're gonna have, oops, here's a star. That star goes on that balloon. Don't let me forget to put it on there. We're gonna do a layout on Friday with the Happiest Place paper too. So I'm just going to add my adhesive onto now my pattern paper and add it to my card base. And you can see, right, because we cut them together, it lines up back perfectly. So I'm just going to fold it with my bone folder. Okay, so now I need to create my little insert piece here that we're gonna have some fun with. So this is the same dimensions as the inside of the card, but I've taken off just a little bit so that we have a border and it'll actually fit inside our card. And then I've just scored it at 2 and 4 so that we have 2 panels to make that Z fold operate. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sentiment for the inside. So there's lots of fun sentiments on this stamp set, like why limit the fun to just one day, happy birthday month. Maybe we'll use that one. So, and then this was the one that I used on the other card that says lots of people are thinking of you on your birthday. I just wanted to let you know I'm one of them. Some of them are belated birthday wishes, so I don't typically use those because I try and actually get people's birthdays cards to them on time. But this is perfect because my mom has a birthday this month, so maybe we will use this card for her and it won't be belated. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my Versamat here for stamping on my card base. So I've just turned it over to my spongy side. If you want more spongy, you can even use your insert from your stamp set. I just need to get on my desk and then I'll put my cards back down so you guys can still see those. Okay, so I have used this stamp set a lot. This one block is not quite long enough. We need something slightly longer. So if you hadn't used it, you can just season it on your skin. So I'm just going to put this about 2/3 of the way up so that I have room to write on the top, above it and below it. I'm going to stamp with black ink. My go-to ink for everything is Intense Black. It's my favorite because it's you can use it for multi-uses, right? If you're coloring, you don't need to worry about switching out your ink. The only time that I switch to archival is if I want to make sure that we are good on a scrapbooking page, then I would switch to archival black. So I'll do all my stamping at the same time. I love this two different font, Happy Birthday, so we're going to add that to our circle. And like I said, the circle is just 1 step smaller than the 3-inch. So it's the 2.5 inch. Okay. And I forgot to get my stamp chamois wet. But that's okay. I'll clean up after we're finished. So then I have the Happy Birthday. And I love the little script with then the solid block font. I didn't get my stamp chamois wet, but I want to clean that ink off so that I don't put it down on my piece by accident. So there we go. So I'm just gonna cover this up because you all know I will put my hand back into it. So now it all comes together pretty quickly. So because this is just slightly smaller than the inside of the card, it fits perfectly. So I'm going to add adhesive and make sure that my text is pointing in the right direction. Because remember, we've got our circle lower on this one because the balloons are going to go towards the top. So like I said, I did use the SVGs that coordinate with the stamp set, but there's lots of balloons that you could use. So let's add the decorative piece. So you can add your decorative piece here. You can add your decorative piece here. It fits on both panels. It kind of just depends on the look that you want. I'm going to add mine there. Whoa. Out of that tape runner. I was teaching on Monday and I kept thinking I was going to run out of tape runner and I didn't. So now, of course, it happened right now. Okay, so I've added that little decorative element. Again, I'm just going to fold everything well. Okay, so now when we close the front, you can see where the piece actually fits. So this, like I said, you could use the piece you cut out and just flip it over with the two-sided paper, or you could cut a different piece. So like I said, I cut this black piece. So when you add your adhesive, you only want to add adhesive on this part, because if you add it onto the white part, your circle will be stuck to the inside of your card. So this, like I said, fits perfectly because it's the same as what we cut out. So then I'm going to add my white circle. And obviously you could switch this up and make the circle a different color of cardstock. Okay, so then you need to adhere the pieces to the front of the card and not the circle. But you're going to see they look like they're floating over the circle. So I have this little star we're going to add to that red balloon. I didn't add the stars to the other balloons because they have that fun silver foil on them already. So I think I want the red one in the middle. I'm going to add this glacier one off to the side and this lemonade one underneath. So this is the one I'll adhere first because this is the back layer. And I want it about there, I think. Okay, so then my red one now. And so you just want to add adhesive just to this part, right? Don't touch the area that's going to touch your black piece. So I'll just show you, I'll open you so you can see. So you see that little bit of lemonade, you don't want your adhesive to go past that either, right? So when you look at the red one, I can add adhesive all at the top there. Just like that. And then I have this little glacier one and I'm going to add it right here. I think I might just put this a little bit on an angle. So I'm just twisting it just a little bit. And then I actually think I might put this one on thin 3D foam tape. Of course, it's right at the bottom of the pile. So same thing, right? I only want adhesive where it's not going to be touching the black part. And my non-stick scissors, because that's awesome for 3D foam tape. So there we go. So that is how that works. Just like that. That's super cute. So not bad for not trying it out. So now we're, ooh, sorry. When I move super quick, the autofocus wants to kick in too from the webcam. So I'll put that one up there. Okay, so this one I cut the front out of because you saw me cut the front where I put the front last time. So this one, we're going back to this main design and we're going to do 2 pieces like that. I just seem to have a little bit of washi tape on here from when I ran the thing cut through. Okay, so we're gonna paper piece these 2 guys together. So I didn't do that live on camera last time, so I thought I would do that live today. So this, we've got all the same parts for this card, but we need to do our paper piercing for these 2. And I haven't actually picked the parts, we just have the 2 bases. So I'm going to do an ice cream cone and the cupcake again. So I thought I'll use the yellow piece here from my circle, and we'll use that to create the base of the ice cream cone. So here we go. Got the ice cream cone. So I'm just going to ink it up, and because I only need the ice cream cone part, I don't actually have to stamp the whole image. So I'm just going to ink it up and stamp the bottom. Okay, and on purpose, I've done a little bit of the ice cream, and I'll show you why in a second. So now we'll grab out some pieces for the ice cream. So I have my bag of paper here. So you can see how the silver foiling is on all of these pieces. So I think for something we'll use that one. Maybe we'll use this for the liner of the cupcake. And we just need ice cream now. Let's see what we have in this one, in the pattern paper. Oh, you know what? We are going to switch some things up here. We are going to do glacier ice cream, I think. So I have a little scrap here. So in the pack, there was one piece that was foiled and then regular cardstock. Sorry, the silver seems to be setting off the camera there. So we're going to make a glacier ice cream top here. And same thing, I don't really need to worry about stamping the whole image. I just need the ice cream. Okay, so then we are going to do our cupcake. And we'll do the striped for the liner of the cupcake, and then maybe the red for the icing. And I think I will just use non-foiled cardstock here. I have a little small piece. There we go. So I can just move that out of the way. Actually, we need to stamp our sentiment. So that's perfect. Now that other stuff has a few seconds to dry before we start to cut it out. So same thing. I'll just... So like you can see, I'm not worried that it didn't stamp properly at the top. I didn't actually ink that part up because I don't actually need that part. So we have a circle right here. Okay, and then same thing. We're going to use that same happy birthday. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so now we just need to put the whole thing together. So, same process as the last time. So I'm just going to move these pieces aside. Here is our card base with the topper that we used the thin cut to cut out. I'm sorry, just gently peeling my washi. Even though it's low tack, if you rip it, you're going to rip your paper off. So you just kind of need to be a little gentle. Okay, so we don't need that anymore, so we can move that out of the way. And we don't actually need our verse mat anymore, so I can also move that out of the way. Just because the foam has a tendency to get stuff, like your stuff grips onto it, so I just want a little more ability to move things. So I'll just put these across the top so you guys can see them all. Okay, so I'm going to adhere the liner. So like I said, this was back to closer to the top because I know that I want my cupcakes and my ice cream at the bottom, right? So super easy to adapt it to fit whatever you want to add as your extra treats on the front, or if you wanted to add a different stamp set, use a different stamp set. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold this. Like that. We have the liner. This time I'm not going to add a big sentiment to the inside just yet because I'm not sure what I want to add there. So we're just going to leave the inside blank for this one. But because it's a big enough space, it's easy enough to stamp on the inside if you wanted after for this one. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere my big piece to my card base. And these, I started with just the White Daisy value pack cards. Nothing fancy, but this is also a fun project you could do with colored cardstock. And I was also thinking it might be fun as a slimline version. So that might be something you guys see come soon. Okay, so this time I'm going to use the red side up on this paper. So it's the same print as the other piece. Just this is the other side of the paper because it's all two-sided. Sometimes it's hard to pick which is your favorite. So same thing. Now we're going to adhere our circle, but we're just putting adhesive on the red part. You don't want it on the white part or your card will stick closed. Okay, so the circle fits back in, and if I wanted, I could, like I said, use the yellow on the inside because it's the other side of this paper. I'll adhere my sentiment, and then we'll paper piece our two elements together and add them to our card. Okay, so now everything is for sure dry. I just didn't want to start cutting right after I stamped, just in case something smudged. So I have my 2 pieces, and like I said, you only need to stamp the part that you're going to use in that color. So for this one, the reason that I did leave a little bit of the top is when I add it to my project, now I get a seamless new piece together. So I'll leave a little bit of extra because then we're going to cover it up with the glacier and it'll seem like they belong together. Instead of if something is cut just a little bit too small, and then you would end up with a white line in the middle because nobody's going to cut it out perfectly. So it will just hide. Now I'm adhering it to my pre-stamped piece. Okay, so you can see it just goes up over a little bit, and now when I cut out my glacier piece and add it, they just fit perfectly on top of each other. So I'm just moving the piece of paper. The scissors stay the same in my hand. And the more you cut with the pair of scissors, the more you know exactly where your scissors cut. So you become familiar with how they cut, where exactly they're going to cut. So there we go. So now you can see when I add my adhesive, I'm going to add it right on top of that other piece, and they seamlessly meet. Okay, so there is where our ice cream cone is going to go, and now we'll put our cupcake together. So same thing, I'm going to keep a little bit of my icing, but not a ton. And you notice that even though I stamped it on a big, huge piece of paper, I trimmed it down before I started to fussy cut. You don't want so much paper in your hands that it's hard to manage. Okay, so there is our little cupcake liner. And now, so same thing. If you watch, I'm going to trim out some of this paper because I don't want that much paper in my way when I'm going to try and trim, fussy cut something out. And this one you could leave, well, both of them, you can leave the extra on whichever side is easier for you to cut. I just did them exactly the same so that you would see the same thing twice. So, and when I did this card last week, I said, so I knew I was going to use these images a lot. So I just stamped and thin cut a whole pile of them, and I've put them in the pocket. So when it came to making the cards today, I already had bases ready to go, and I could add whatever color, like however I wanted to color coordinate them. Sorry, I need a sip of water. Apparently I'm going to lose my voice. Hey, Shannon. Okay, so there we go. It's as easy as that. So now the only trick again is you have to make sure that you're not going to put adhesive past the circle on your elements, or this will get stuck to this, right? So I think I want the ice cream cone on top. So I'm just going to add adhesive to the bottom of the cupcake like that and put it on a little bit of an angle. And then I'm going to pop up my ice cream cone just a little bit for another layer. I just got a little bit too much tape there, so I'm just going to trim it. So now I just want to make sure, right, I'm looking on the inside. You can even pull your backing off. So I'm pulling my backing off, and I can even kind of decide where I want it and then flip it over. See, I know now I need to come down just a little bit before you touch it to your paper. So there we go. So that's how that one looks. So I think we're going to add a little bit of shimmer to this one, and that will be it. So I'm just going to take some clear shimmer brush. Oh, maybe we should add some silver sparklers, silver gems to it too. So I've just shook up my shimmer brush so that you actually get the glitter moving in it. And I'm just going to give my treats a little sparkle. It's super hard to see on camera, but you can kind of see it just a little bit. Because every birthday needs a little bit of sparkle. Okay, so now we'll just grab some silver glitter gems. Oh no, maybe we'll use black and white. That's perfect with this paper pack. So I'll just grab my piercing tool, and I'm going to vary my sizes. So there's 3 different sizes, and I'm going to add 3 on here. Okay, so that's how these turned out. So like I said, welcome to Happiest Place week. And I really like the little balloons too. So that's what I have for you guys today. On Friday, we're going to make a layout using the paper and the sketch. So if you want to follow along and you don't have the sketch, if you comment sketch, I'll send you the link after the comment and send you in the right direction. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and I hope we'll have some fun this week with the Happiest Place week. And if you need a workshop to play with your products, like I said, I have 2. I have a scrapbooking workshop where I created some SVGs titles to go along with the workshop. And then with the Cut Above kit, I created a flip-flop workshop. So that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, feel free to go back to the beginning to see how I put them together. And there we go. So there's the one with the balloons with the SVGs, and then the one with the desserts on the front. And like I said, these are the ones that I created last week. So the videos are there if you want to go back, and this is more your style as to what you would like to create. I'll add the link in right away, Nicole. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.